money that I collected. It's honorable that brought
Destiny of Nigeria.
Contribution to Nigerian peace.
Me,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I want name all of now. Look at this.
But there comes a time
Nigeria
when
we
you're
want to
pushed to
take
the
steps
wall
every day to make this country a better place.
And the new Nigeria is that
Education is telling them it's time to change.
Ground Zero comes up from 5 to 6 p.m. every Tuesday and Friday on Invicta FM and 5 to 6 p.m. every weekday on Procyon Radio and Television. Ground Zero is a production of the Procyon Media. Tune in.
Yes, it's indeed a nice and lovely day, and you are right here on the Procyon Radio and Television, and we are onto the program Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a program that is designed to bring up topical issues in the polity, and with analysts in-house and of course guests, we try our best to bring in guests and analyze these issues and help us forge a way forward. And today on the program, we are going to do just that. Meanwhile, one of my guests is already seated in the studio, and other guests, of course, will be coming in. And together, we are all going to rub our minds and see how we can make the very best out of the snipers that will be reeling out today. Today on the program, we will all be looking at the Supreme Court judgment that affirms Lawan as the authentic candidate of the Yobe North Senatorial District. And also we'll be looking at the threat that's coming from some political parties to pull out of the 2023 elections over Naira redesign. What are these threats? Who are these political parties, and what exactly do they want, or what are they demanding for? I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. It's only in Nigeria that we'll see that some persons will get judgment from court, and the people would want the people wouldn't understand what's happening. Yes, the layman may not understand the details of every court proceedings and every court judgment, but at times they would claim that common sense dictates. Is man made for law, or the law made for man? That's one big question that we hope we'll be able to tidy at the end of today's edition of the program Ground Zero. And also, we will be opening up the phone lines at the right time so that you, the listener, can add your voice to the conversation so that we all can be on the same page in respect of this. And of course, you can do that right now by going to the various social media handles of Procyon Radio and Ground Zero and do just that. And the handle for Procyon Radio, where you can do that on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, is Procyon RTV. Procyon is spelled Procyon. Yeah, Procyon. That's the spelling of Procyon, RTV. Just go there on all of the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And do remember to follow us and subscribe to our channel when you get there so that you can get up-to-date information in respect of what we do right here. And my guest in the studio this evening, I have two of them actually, and some studio guests. We have Comrade Bako Abdul Usman. He is a civil rights activist, and his shoulder is full of so many titles that if I start to mention them, we may not end the program today. Hopefully, Femi Oyelola will join us in the course of the program, and already seated in the studio, we also have Uchenna Ijegalu, aka Uncle Undapenyi of Countryside. And of course, we are expecting some other guests in the studio. I was hoping that Chief Amotekun would be in the studio with us today, and Elder Dare Adebanjo would also be in the studio. We are expecting all of them. As soon as they come in, we will move on with the conversation. All right, let's go into looking at more details in respect of what we do. Of course, you can also listen to us even after the program on procyonnews.com. That's www.procyonnews.com. There you'll be able to listen to our radio and also watch Procyon TV on the website of procyonnews.com. And let's take it from there. This program is also being broadcast by Invicta FM in Kaduna, wherever you live in the world. If you happen to find yourself in Kaduna, you can also listen to Ground Zero on Invicta FM every Tuesdays and Fridays from 5 to 6. Of course, every other day of the week, you just listen to it on Procyon radio and television. You watch it. Now, getting more details of the snippets. In a majority decision, the Apex Court has set aside the decision of the Appeal Court Gombe Division. The Supreme Court has affirmed Ahmad Lawal as the authentic candidate of Yobe North Senatorial District. In the lead judgment, Justice Sentus Nweze faulted the approach of Bashir Machina in commencing the suit at the Federal High Court Damaturu Division by way of originating summons and without oral evidence to prove allegation of fraud. In the majority decision, the Apex Court also set aside the decision of Appeal Court Gombe Division, which affirmed the decision of the trial court that declared Machina the senatorial candidate for Yobe North Senatorial District. But in a dissenting decision by Justices Emmanuel Agim and Adamu Joro, the Apex Court said Ahmad Lawal never participated in the APC primary held on 28 May as he withdrew voluntarily to participate in the presidential primary held on the 8th of June. The majority decision held that in the conduct of another primary on June 9th, 2022, where Lawal emerged as was in breach of Section 84, subsection 5 of the Electoral Act, as the APC never cancelled the one that was held on the 28th before organizing another one. Justice Sentus Nweze, who read the lead judgment, held that the decision of the Federal High Court in Yobe and the Court of Appeal in Abuja were perverse and must be set aside. He added that Mr. Machina ought to have commenced his suit by a writ of summons going by the allegations of fraud leveled against the APC in transmitting Mr. Lawal's name to INEC. But the two other members of the Supreme Court panel, Adamu Joro and Emmanuel Agim, disagreed with the majority judgment. And in the lead dissenting judgment, Justice Adamu Joro held that the APC appeal is devoid of merit. He slammed a 3 million naira fine against the APC in favor of Mr. Machina. Justice Emmanuel Agim, while reading his dissenting view, says the APC primary election held on 9th June, which produced Mr. Lawal, was an illegal contraption. He noted that Mr. Lawal withdrew from the Yobe North Senatorial District race on 12 May to vie for APC presidential ticket, which automatically disqualified the Senate president from the National Assembly election. Agim further adds that the purported primary held on the 9th of June 2022 was a ruse as it was not monitored by INEC. The APC had challenged the nomination of Bashir Machina as the party's candidate for Yobe North Senatorial District. The party insisted that Ahmad Lawal, Nigeria Senate President, was the authentic senatorial candidate for Yobe North for the forthcoming general election. Yes, these are basically the details of that particular one. And let's look at the second item that we'll be looking at. 13 parties threatened to pull out of 2023 election over Naira redesign. 13 out of the 18 political parties in Nigeria have threatened to withdraw from the February 25 and March 11 general election in Nigeria over Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. At a briefing by a coalition of chairmen of political parties yesterday, the 13 parties commended the President Muhammadu Buhari on the redesign of the 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira banknotes. The parties said they won't be interested in the elections if the new deadline of February 10, 2023 is shifted as demanded by some governors of the All Progressive Congress. The 13 parties also knocked the Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara state government for heading to the Supreme Court to get court injunction to extend the deadline for the validity of the three old notes. The national chairman of the Action Alliance, Kenneth Udueze, who briefed the pressmen, said, "We hereby announce that at least 13 out of the 18 political parties in Nigeria will not be interested in the 2023 general election, and indeed we shall withdraw our participation from the electoral process if this currency policy are suspended or cancelled, or if the deadline is further shifted." The CBN on October 26, 2022 announced its plan to redesign the three-bank note, and we know all the details of that and how it has turned out now. These basically are the details of what we'll be looking at on the program today. And from what we've read out, I am sure by now the listener have an understanding of what we'll be discussing. And already my guest in the studio, Abdul Bako Usman. Once again, welcome to the program.
It is a pleasure being with you, and good evening to the listening public in a cashless society, fuelless society, foodless society.
Cashless society, fuelless society, and foodless society. Wow. Is that a triple jeopardy now, or what exactly is it? Well, you've heard that Nigeria is fast becoming a country where we have the court deciding who will lead or rule at different categories in the country. Because I recall that of Imo State, and I recall that of not Bayelsa State, Akwa Ibom State, where Akpabio, after contesting the presidential, still went back and he was able to get back the senatorial ticket. And now that of Lawal is coming. That of Lawal is becoming it's very, very popular because most Nigerians were aware of all of the intrigues that happened. And earlier today, during the newspaper review, indeed, a particular called in to say that he was not happy at all with the way that people are complaining about Lawan and Lawan reclaiming it and all of that. And another caller also called in to quickly debunk that too, saying that the other persons, like in Sokoto State, where Tambuwa was able to go back to claim the ticket, that the person that was voted willingly withdrew and gave it up to Tambuwa, and they didn't have to go to court. But in the case of Akpabio and Lawa, they had to get their mandate now in quote through the courts. And if we are laymen, let's put it that way, if we look at it with the eyes of a layman, is that not standing justice on its head? Something that obviously there was an election that took place, and someone that was not part of the election at all eventually becoming the candidate in that. Democracy, yes. Activists, talk to us.
It's quite worrisome, and it's rather unfortunate we have found ourselves in this quagmire. For the simple fact that we believe that judiciary should be the last hope of the ordinary citizen of this country. But going by what we are seeing today, the suit itself, you will see that it wasn't filed by the principal himself. It was the APC that followed up all that has to do. So for me, I am looking at it that today is more or less no internal democracy. We don't have what we practice as internal democracy, but rather we are looking forward to seeing who becomes the candidate by hook or by crook, and the judiciary, which is supposed to be the hope of the common man, who is playing to that gallery. That gallery, in the sense that when you watch carefully.
Yes, please, Mr. Femi just stepped in. Mr. Femi, yes, welcome.
if you,
Thank
if you go memory lane in the judgments, you will realize that at the appeal court, people of credibility, people who are within the justice system of Nigeria unanimously agreed that Machina was the candidate elected and returned in that primaries.
Yes.
That it is quite surprising and it is quite worrisome that this court case is coming after, for a long while, we've not seen him, Ahmed Lawan, being a part of the movement of their presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But once we saw him in Nasarawa and this ruling came, so we are not surprised how the elites are tickling the masses here and there, back and forth. But the judiciary is supposed to be upright in affirming that Machina is the right candidate. That is my take anyway. But when you look inwardly again, you will realize that, yes, sometimes stakeholders have a role to play in making sure that they bring candidates on board.
Yeah.
And for today, Machina, who is supposed to be the candidate, alleged candidate of the party that is denied, will be a first-timer in the assembly. And looking at the majority of and the position held by Ahmed Lawan, you will realize that the party is benefiting immensely in his position.
Yeah.
Being the Senate president, he has a lot of personal assistants, he had a lot of senior special assistants. So I am looking inwardly to say that maybe the party is looking forward to see that if Lawan should go back again, there's no surprise, he could still be the Senate president. And those positions of authority will come to the party, and the many they say, the merrier.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised if APC is fighting here, fought back and forth to see that Lawan is returned by hook or by crook.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it is not. It is already Uhuru for him because
a Supreme Court, like someone, like one of my friends would say, Malam Magawata, he would say, Abayan Supreme Court, say, go to Allah.
Yes, go to Allah. So looking again at the whole scenario, you will find out that yes, today, Lawan has taken leadership in that position.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the candidate. But one question that strikes most is how independent and how free and how what word will I qualify? How genuine our electoral process going to be with the present INEC? If INEC will affirm a candidate was part of the primaries that brought that candidate on board, and today the Supreme Court is saying INEC was wrong, then we are in a jeopardy. We are in serious jeopardy because the credibility and the sanctity of the electoral process is in question with what the Supreme Court has done today. To say,
you know that's the reason why first we have to bring this topic up, because the backlash that followed that judgment is quite very loud. But my concern, what do I know? Would they call us laymen? My concern as a layman is that if someone was not part of a process, because he was part of a different process.
Exactly. And it is very obvious.
Very obvious. Every Nigerian saw this. But of course,
Section 84 of the electoral law.
Yes. 84 subsection 5.
It is very clear.
Yes.
Subsection 5 has clearly said that whosoever that is declared a winner INEC must be there to affirm that he really contested that election, he was part of the process, and he is pronounced the winner by simple majority. So, but with this case now, Ahmed Lawan was not part of that process, but you can see how intriguing the whole thing is. They went later to conduct another one, which INEC was not part of. INEC said they were not part of it. They never go there to observe. So the law now is hurting itself, or is shooting itself on the foot, or how we the laymen might call it.
But you know, one area that is still very, very, that I don't really understand is the fact where they said, where they are basing this judgment on technicalities. Because from the High Court and Appeal Court, they agreed that since Ahmed Lawan wasn't part of the process, it should be Machina.
Exactly.
But when they got to the Supreme Court now, they said the way he filed it, it should have been originating summons and not, and based on that, they are throwing out the case. Well, like I'll keep saying, we are laymen. Let's come to Femi. We are laymen. Femi, you had this whole Supreme Court judgment, affirmation.
Yeah.
How does it vibe with you?
Well, you see, the Supreme Court is supreme.
Yes.
With their judgment. Just like you say, quote Allah Isa. That's not what you can do. So we expect that the juries on that table called Supreme must be up and doing when it comes to delivering judgment. We have a law in place, the electoral law, which declare in broad time the processes for you to be named as a candidate. And then that process must be adhered to before you can be affirmed to be a candidate or confirmed to be a candidate of any political party. Ahmed Lawan, in the first place, was not a part of the process that brought Machina on board.
Yeah.
He was busy for his presidential ambition.
Yeah.
And I know, or rather I heard from the grapevine, that is a kind of mutual relationship between him and
Ahmed Lawan
and Machina.
Yeah.
If I don't get this, you step down for me, and I get this, and we talk. Well, that is from the grapevine. And at the end, when he didn't get this, the man refused to step down. He kept quiet. And I told somebody, I said, this man keeping quiet. It's not that he's telling you I'm throwing him in the towel.
Yeah.
Rather, I'm going him back to prepare a battleground, which will be better off between me and Machina. He did it. And they went. Even in the appeal court. I sensed something when I read the case filed by Machina. I told a lawyer, I said, look at this. The juries have not even sat on this. I've sensed I'm not a lawyer by profession. But you as a lawyer, can't you count some technical ladies on this filing? He's surprised that this is filed before the Supreme Court. By somebody who knows that your case, this is the last bus stop. And you are filing your case in this kind of lacking some of these technicalities. Sometimes, like my Oga said there, when you talk, the elites, or rather the bourgeois, I will not call them the elite, the bourgeois always have their saying when it comes to politics. Ahmed Lawan in APC is not just a throw-over person.
At all.
And if you throw Ahmed Lawan away for any Machina, you are doing that at your own detriment. Exactly. Even the APC presidential candidate will not even dare to do that. He must have gone, the party must have put their heads together. Okay, let's see how we talk. And probably called Machina and said, look, let's forget about the law, let's forget about this. You love APC, you love our party, and you want to be a member of the party? Say, yes, this is how we are going to. Quote me today, Machina is not a loser. It's rather is gaining from this process.
Yeah, because just like you said, I am thinking along your line that it may even be a party arrangement. Go and find something that won't fly.
Because that, if you look, when people judge and say, how can Supreme Court pass a judgment. It is just a case. Let me look at a technical ground. I'm filing a case to oppose my opponent who is wearing, is it yellow, I will call it, a yellow shirt. And I said, on that day of the incident, which everybody confirm, you confirm, I confirm that my opponent on that day was wearing a blue shirt on the day of occasion.
Yes.
And the Supreme Court will now look, and the Court of Appeal now say, okay, which of your, maybe looking at it, they say your opponent, where Abdul, Comrade Abdul, they say, okay, yes, it's Comrade Abdul. But when you go to Supreme Court, they see that and they think, they say, what you say was wearing a blue clothes, dressed in a boot attire that day, but from what is before, he said I'm dressed in a yellow attire. So we don't know this case, please.
Step aside.
Your place. Go and that is the end of a bus stop. That is what happened.
And you know, in that way, they would have saved his face.
Yes, they saved his face. And then they also saved their own dignity.
Yes.
Because they can't say, okay, we are turning down the Court of Appeal judgment.
Yeah.
But they allow, I mean, the respondent allow a loophole in the technical ground.
Yes, so that he will fail. He set himself up to fail.
I listened to him yesterday. He said, Akala, so that's not how we say.
This is serious.
That is the politics. Well, somebody said that is the master politics.
Yes.
When you want to play politics sometimes, you have to go to the highest level.
Yes.
And that is what this party has done.
Okay. They will sort themselves out. They will resolve their issues between and amongst themselves. But
before we go, I have to at this point to also say that the only person that will have done a good job in this process is the electoral umpire. The INEC. That's another point. INEC should have been, allow themselves to be joined
in the
issue from the originating summons.
Yes.
But what strikes me again is INEC now. We've heard that ballot papers are already printed, and I don't think Ahmed Lawan's picture appears on those ballot papers as the case is. But we still have up to 2 weeks.
Yes, to do that now.
So that could be possible. But
don't forget that Section 35 of their law also states that any ballot number that has not gone to the public domain for action can easily be changed within 48 hours.
So
they can do that within 48 hours. That is the law given.
But
what I'm trying to dig in at, you as the electoral umpire, you're sorry that this period of time, court are just fixing in candidates for the people, not what the candidate actually elect. The electoral umpire should wake up and be doing. I think Professor Mahmoud should come out from his tradition. You have a lot of cases, a lot of cases. You have a case, let me bring one to you, the Action Alliance Party. The Court of Appeal said the chairman that submitted this list has been expelled from the party.
So it does not
cannot present as Mustafa, but INEC said no. INEC will still recognize Al-Mustafa until of 2 or 3 days later that Al-Mustafa began to say, I'm drawn away from this battle because I realized I don't have the legal to the local standing to pursue this thing. Now, what is INEC's responsibility? They are supposed to be a neutral umpire. When the High Court said, this is who we recognize the, what is this man's name? Adekunle Omoaje faction. At Obi, the authentic this, and Deboyen is the presidential candidate of AA, not Al-Mustafa. That is what I expected for them. I said, okay, we will abide by what the agree. So if you are not, go to the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
Just like what they have in this case. But up to now, INEC has still standing on. Not only that, in Ikari Akoko Central District, you have similar case where the court say, put in this man, as I'm talking on, let maybe to happen tomorrow. The similar case, INEC. So INEC, I begin to look, are they really ready for a credible, a free and fair election with all these resources that has been into this process?
The rigmarole is not just within that aspect. If you come back to Kaduna Central, We have any PDP senatorial
PDP, yes.
candidates too. We are still having
Well, we
that.
have
In fact, they are still in the
Mr.
Supreme
La
Court.
and
Sadana Badrawa.
yes, Sadona Badarawa.
I mean, that is the INEC should be more doing and let people, they have to, if in the process, if in the understate, the INEC should have even be, if you don't join them in the suit, they have a law, the power, I think in section 3 of that, their law states
join
that
themselves.
they can go before the court and say, we beg to be joined in this suit because we are stakeholders to protect our reputation.
Okay.
I think in most of these cases, they don't do that.
They have a lot of
And then, we wouldn't even, they would, what we are saying now, either you wear yellow or blue suit, they will like, Annex, did you recognize so person? The vote of the uniform, of the clothes he put on that day, they say, yes, we recognized him, and we're there, and this is what happened. What we are saying in the Supreme Court today wouldn't have happened. But I believe, like my colleague said, it is.
But the case of Lawan is like no INEC representative was part of the second primaries conducted. So then where are we?
But you know, they also said that the NWC committee member that conducted the first one was not recognized, was not officially sent.
That, I'm still going back to that. Now you say again, this anti-party problem. The NWC member that conducted the first election, right from the word go, we begin to hear from the Ahmed party that nobody sent them on an error. They are on their own.
But when they wanted you withdraw that you were going for a higher post.
Because to them, the party of Ahmed, because to them, they believe that there is not going to be a senatorial contest within that area. So let me go for the higher post. Now, I didn't get it. I'm ready for this. Let's go for the contest. You say, no, that's a contest. They now say, no. And the party now came out and then, well, they didn't make it officially, but body language.
Yeah.
Via their body language.
One would know
They know that, we didn't send they just came, they are busybody. That's one party called they say they are busybody.
Okay, let's quickly look at the second item now. The 13 political parties that said if for any reason the Naira redesign deadline is extended, that they will withdraw from the election. I do not understand their position to this. What's the connection between the Naira redesign deadline date and the election? They said if President Buhari allows it to be extended, that they will withdraw. Please.
Go ahead.
Yes. You see, when I read that full story, in fact, it was my front page story in my newspaper today.
Yeah, by the way, Mr. Femi Oyelola is the correspondent of People's Daily newspaper.
I don't call the rich. I'm a reporter with People's Daily.
He's a bureau chief.
Now, when this case come out before them, one Kenneth Odenze quickly rallied around him some political parties and said, let's go to the court, to the FCT court, and file an injunction, interlocutory injunction, stopping the federal extension of the deadline. Now, if you look at the name of the political party that's proper of them, you will know. Well, that is reserved. Now, the same man who claimed to be the party chairman of Concerned Nigeria Citizens from different political outposts, Kenneth Odenze. What party is he representing? Is he representing on that platform? Action Alliance, he claimed. Whereas the Court of Appeal, twice in Abuja, one by Justice Nyako, said you are no more the party chairman because you have been expelled from the party. So you can't file a suit against the party. Now, fighting an interlocutory injunction. And let people know that the law, by what I know, I said I'm not a lawyer, I'm a journalist by profession. But when you file an injunction, your injunction by the law will be looked at the judge. The damaging effect on the other party, and they will give you 30 days, maximum 7 days. Now, if I rush before a court in Kaduna Federal High Court and say, behind my house led one comrade Abo with a gun and he's claiming to shoot and do this, please do something about this so that he will not fire his gun. They will give 30 days for the police to look for him, bring him down, and then come and tell him, why are you pointing gun in front of his eyes? I think he comes before the court and say, this gun I'm pointing it maybe is rubber bullet.
It's not at hip, rather it's at the bed.
At a bed close to his house. The court will say, okay, you hear? Your life is out there, you can go. So this is not a judgment.
Yeah.
It is an injunction. An injunction is filed via motion ex parte, not on motion or notice. If you file anything via motion or notice, you partners, your respondent must be aware of what you are bringing him up. Any court in the whole universe will grant an interlocutory injunction to anybody, to any organization. Once you grant, and at the end of that day, that starts to be. So when this political party, which I beg to play term busybody, just rush to the court and say we are stopping this process, we are stopping. They did not, I believe they did not do their proper homework, consulting their legal partners, because we have an umbrella of opposition political parties. Someone should remind me, CNPP, Congress of Nigeria Political Parties.
Yeah.
When I call one of the state chairman of CNPP, I say, are you part of this? Also, okay. Say, God forbid bad thing. That's just his word. God forbid bad thing. We cannot be part of those child play.
Okay.
Like for we
Yeah.
at the civil rights, civil society angle, we look at it and it becomes very funny because anything that will truncate our hard-earned democracy is not welcoming. So when we saw the case and we were sobered about the whole thing, but with the explanation of the learned one now. Yes, maybe the learned one.
No, I'm not the learned.
We are happy that things are unfolding this way, but when you look at the desperation of the giants, because people look at the other political parties to be the little ones, and they are not structural wise, they don't have that capacity, financial muscles they don't have. But when you look at the desperation in the bigger political parties for the extension, you know that something is going to happen.
Okay.
So this brings in INEC again, that has promised us that they are going to make sure that they follow every penny, every naira till the last day of the election by making sure that vote buying, that making sure that money bags don't hijack the process. So for us, I think it is a clearing call. They went to court to seek that this should not be extended. If it's extended, it is good for the less privileged that are suffering. But if it's extended to, INEC should be willing to monitor every bit by bit to see that the finances that are involved in these affairs are limited and are within the threshold of the electoral process regarding resources expanding.
Okay. Let's open up the phone lines now. Let's hear from our listeners. We'll still have another opportunity to talk. 0809 4646206 is the number to dial to be part of the program this evening. 0809 4646206 is the number to dial to be part of Ground Zero this evening. And we are looking at the Supreme Court affirmation of Ahmed Lawan as the Yobe North Senatorial District candidate of the All Progressive Congress, and also looking at 13 political parties that say they will pull out of the 2023 general election on the 25th and on the 25th of this month and 11th of March 2023. So 0809 4646206 is the number to dial to be part of the program this evening. Yes, Femi, you were going to say.
You see, where the extension of the deadline.
Let's quickly take this call. Sorry about that, please. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello, good evening. My name is Otumba Rufai. I'm calling from Kano Road, Bazokuta Street.
All right, Otumba, let's have your take. Pick a topic and let's talk.
Yes, you see this issue of Martina and Lower. What I have to say here is the electorate that will decide whether a Lower will come back or not. Let us bury that here because the Supreme Court has already pronounced their own. So it is now left for we, the electorate. If we enjoy him, so fine. If we do not, then let us show him the way.
Okay.
That's for that. You see the issue of this INEC of something, of this karma is that way. Look, the best way for me, I think, is for INEC now. Maybe they withdraw from participating in any primary that, the political parties are doing. Because now that they said they do not participate in one, and it is the same person that they did not participate that they are giving. So what is the purpose of them? What is the purpose of passing this electoral law of 2022 into law that says at least they must, Martina did not withdraw.
Yeah.
And he did not say he is not doing, and this thing says you must, when it belongs to you, you withdraw, or you say you are not participating, or something else happens. Then what happens now? So, the electorate, please, do the needful.
All right.
Good evening.
Thank you so very much. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. We lost that. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero. Hello, good evening, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. This is Game.
Okay, you say the name is?
Hello, this is Game.
All right, Steve, let's have your take.
And you see, when you look at this critically, you discover what is happening in Osun State. Look at this INEC committee. I believe INEC is operating independently. And the judiciary is also operating independently. Why is it that every day, the judiciary will be the one to decide INEC? Why is it so? Hello?
Yeah, we are listening.
So when you start putting it, I'm not happy over that development. What happened is on the State is alarming. And we keep on saying all the things. The electoral system was operating independently. Why advise the system to also operate independently? But the system is why by the judicial system will be to be judging for the electoral system. It is uncalled for. So I'm going to support of that.
Okay.
That's my take.
All right, thank you. 009-4646-206 is the number to dial to be part of the program. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, sir.
You are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Thank you. This is Ibrahim calling from Kaduna.
All right, Chief.
The issue of Lawan, former Senate President, that has already been an issue of, it's already a dialogue now. The way the president is, it puts the parties that have the political power to condemn the economy. Not even the president will survive. So that was the reality that the Supreme Court, where it was to take out and decided that yes, this person is the person, either it's a student before this or not. So let us do that to that matter. We don't want to go back to this. So life on the election that was taken, we are able to do it. Well, finally, this is the of revenue and the new revenue and question.
Yeah.
By revenue, we get here, where we get them to participative all this. We got effort to this country and give us the right leaders to take us to the promised land. Now,
All right, thank you so much. 0809-4646-206 is the number to dial. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero.
good evening, this.
Good evening, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
I think Kirapa.
All right, I.A. Kinapa, let's have your take.
You see, his wonders shall never end.
Wow.
You see, I'm sure for political parties to say that they will pull out of election if Naira deadline is extended. I have been saying that most of the people are not sympathizers of Nigeria. So people call under pretense to pretend that they are sympathizing with Nigeria. We know how the nation were. We know have told you that we have all the opposition we have in Nigeria are not sincere in their own utterances. Former Vice President and PDP presidential candidate has been in the forefront of asking for extension. Are you with me?
Yes, I am with you.
He has been in the forefront for extension of this naira deadline. And as soon as it was extended, he started protesting. Are these the kind of people that will transform to good people in the afternoon and in the night and transform into bad elements? Is this the kind of people we should cast our vote for? And on the issue of Lawan, I know you people have explained on this so extensively. So I may say that some people are bad students of history. As you have rightly said, Governor of Bauchi did not participate in governorship primary. Neither Governor of Sokoto do. And they were all given their own system. So I don't know why Nigerians are like that.
Well, I Kinapa,
Yes.
if I'm a chippy, you know, earlier today during the newspaper review, when you took
Yes.
the same position, and Honorable Ajida Emmanuel called back and also said, no, it shouldn't be that way, that in the case of Sokoto and Bauchi, those that won withdrew and submitted their mandate to the two persons. And they didn't go to court. They willingly submitted their mandate, they withdrew. But the difference is that the APC went to court in the case of Lawan, and it had to get to the Supreme Court.
I'm going to crystal clear this. You understand? Going to court, if it is wrong, consistent governor and Sokoto wouldn't have been given. You understand? Despite the fact that APC candidate protested Martina, does not mean that Ahmed Lawan was also wrong to claim his mandate. That is why they went to High Court, to Appeal Court, and to Supreme Court. If it were wrong, if to say Lawan was disqualified, I'm telling you, Governor of Bauchi said and Sokoto said would have been disqualified. Just simply because those people do not go to court. No. Whatever that is good for Mr. A is also good for Mr. B.
They are different.
They wouldn't have been allowed in the first place.
Then Amechi should go back as Minister of Transport too.
Yeah?
Then Amechi should go back as Minister of Transport too.
But
No, I mean, that is appointment. You understand? Amechi did not wish to come back as minister.
Central Bank is no appointment. Central Bank Governor is not an appointment.
Yeah?
Central Bank Governor is not an appointment.
Amechi resigned his appointment. Did Bala Mohammed resign?
Well, I Kinapa, thank you so much for your contribution.
But I am talking about the Central Bank Governor who were given directive to resign before going for contest. Did he resign? But he's back on.
He's working for some people, and he should tell us. That man should be brought down, level down the hill.
All right. Thank you, I Kinapa. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I should chip this thing to our listener.
Hello, good evening. Let's answer this.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Gabriel from Kanana State.
All right, Comrade Gabriel, quickly, let's have your take.
What I'm saying is that, in fact, it's just very, very unfortunate. And from my own observation, that means even though shown election was not properly handled by ANEC, by the court, I mean, if you see what happened to the issue of this law now, what are we going to say about others? Because Nigeria is supposed to be a place where rule of law is followed, and you can imagine what the Supreme Court has ruled. So what I'm saying is that if the Supreme Court rule, that means that even in the coming election, if you have a presidential candidate that is not in their favor, and the person go to the Supreme Court, then the national will require it. So it's just very, very unfortunate. Good thing here that we just for the electorate in Yobe State to vote for that one. So that's what we're looking for. So as far as we're concerned, that ruling is not in fact, it does not go down well with some of us in Nigeria here.
All right.
Secondly, on this, not extension, I think it's a good one because even as people over there already say that they want to do the extending when there's money, surplus of money in the bank.
Yeah.
As been stated by the EFCC.
Okay.
So, what we want that let this issue be properly resolved so Nigeria will be at peace because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not comfortable with what the papers are doing in favor of that one. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
our-
Let's quickly come now.
Yes,
We'll react and take our parting shot because we actually have just 3 minutes to wrap it all up.
Okay. No, for me, okay.
Our listeners should understand one thing is that when you are talking, especially in the aspect of Naira design, extension, or no extension, they should go into what I call political maturity. They should be mature campaigning based, issue-based campaign, not looking at fault. When you talk of underdevelopment, APC will say PDP was in power for 19, so if there be power, that should be underdevelopment throughout. If there is a problem, I think the opposition should look at this policy and look at the masses. Is this policy going to extension benefit the masses? Is the masses who are going to vote you people into out? No matter what. So whatever you are looking, don't look at that issue from political point of view. Rather look at it as I mean that's why it beat my eye when I say Nigeria political it's not politics of ideology. It is a politics of where you belong to today and where you belong to tomorrow and you fit into. If it is a political of ideology, you will look at it as Labour Party. Wow, this policy is going to affect our people more because we represent the labor people who are salary earners, and this issue of cashless, what the effect of them. If you are a Democrat or whatever, you look at it from that angle that it's going to. So we have to wake up and begin to think on politics of ideology and campaign on issue-based ground, not try to cut each other down. We are doing more damage. Today, I went into the town and I tried to do a kind of a voice pop with people. They are shouting, the government has failed. This brother, when I met somebody again yesterday, I asked him, what is it? He said, we are selling a bag of maize at, is it 12,000 naira compared to 22,000 because nobody is going to buy it with cash.
Wow.
So if you want to buy, we sell it 12,000. If you are paying us transfer, 25,000, 15,000.
Okay, you are putting cash on the table, 12,000, but transfer 15,000.
But last week, my neighbor bought it 22,000.
But meanwhile, that buying, I heard that if you are buying with new cash, the amount of and we have Uche Ijegalu with us in the studio.
It's a weakness, I would.
Let's quickly have the mic. Bring the microphone quickly. All right, is the microphone on?
All right. Thank you, listeners. On a more serious note, this is an interesting topic to discuss. I just want to summarize the two topics. On the issue of Lawan and the other man, it's a case of tying my hand when food is presented to both of us, and you're eating that food and you're asking me if the food is sweet. Then in the other one, the political parties who are saying they want to pull out of elections because if they extend the whatever, truly is also a case of a very short man in a crowd trying to jump up for his face to be seen. So I want to beg INEC, because this discussion is posing a little of fear on me. Because if this thing is happening now, what is the fate of this forthcoming election?
Big question. We must have to wrap up now because we are. Abdul Bako, quickly in 30 seconds.
Yes, for me, I think Nigerians should be mindful of one thing, and that should be we shouldn't be in a jeopardy and feel we'll get it right.
All right.
So the citizens should go out and elect credibility and forget the bigger parties as they call themselves.
All right. That's about the size of the program today. I want to sincerely appreciate my guest, Abdul Bako Osman, a civil rights activist, and Femi Oyelola, correspondent of People's Daily newspaper. Uche Ijegalu also in the studio, and of course, not forgetting the production team, Mercy Ofuya over there at Invicta that uplinked us from Procyon Radio to Invicta, and of course, Nifemi Onibiyo, she handled the MCR and of course, Grace Adebayo was in charge of sound and taking care of some other things, while Mike Boniface handled computers and stuff, and of course, the production director was Sarah Adbon. My name is Ehis Adbon, and until on Friday, when we'll be on for another package of the program, I want to tell you that to listen to us now and even after this program, especially for those listening to us on Invicta, you can go to www.procyonnews.com. You can watch us live on Procyon TV and listen to Procyon Radio 247. I am the peacemaker with a passion for crowd satisfaction. Plant a tree today, water it, and watch it grow. May the good mighty Lord bless and keep us all.
The money that I collected is honorable that brought
Destiny of Nigeria. Me, the thing that I want make all of now look into
But there comes a
in
time
Nigeria.
when
We
you're
want
pushed
to
to
take
the
steps
wall.
every day to make this country a better
And
place.
the new Nigeria is that place
Education is
that
telling them it's time to change.
All colors, shades, angles, and perspectives can be overwhelming in our present world of information overload. This is introducing Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a current affairs discussion phone-in program covering topical issues in the polity. The program is a platform for an in-depth analysis of trending issues by professionals, authorities in various fields, analysts, and key actors in the polity. Ground Zero gives the listener an opportunity to contribute to the discussion via phone call, SMS, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. From the conservatively serious to the ridiculously funny, Ground Zero accommodates them all. Professionals, urban contemporary businessmen and women, policymakers, public service workers, students, artisans, traders, and the in-between. Ground Zero comes up from 5 to 6 p.m. every Tuesday and Friday on Invicta FM and 5 to 6 p.m. every weekday on Procyon Radio and Television. Ground Zero is a production of the Procyon Media. Tune in.